Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Academy for Civil Services. There's a video on daily news and editorial analysis which I'll be covering from two important newspapers. The first being the Hindu and the other is the Indian Express. So most important news and editorial of the day will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with news topic list. Today is 9th of February. The first topic is Haryana Cabinet given note for anti-conversion bill. We'll see the detail about the provisions. Second, Sri Lanka to launch its own Aadhaar. This is in line with the Indian Aadhaar system. Third, white-caked macaque found in Arunachal Pradesh. This is again something important news for your environment section. France sees path to ease Russia crisis amid the Ukraine. We have seen that the Ukraine crisis has getting intense in terms of many other countries coming to it. And the last is an editorial step up agri spending boost farm income. So this is an editorial from the Hindu. Apart from this, there will be some MCQ questions. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. Right? So without any further delay, let's get started. If you're new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. And just to tell you about the prelims test series, this is for those aspirants who will be appearing for the upcoming prelims examination. You will get IS Gazetted Current Affair magazine along with the subscription and 38 sectional tests, 5 tests on the previous year papers, 7 monthly current affair test papers, and 10 full length tests. So the total number of tests that you can avail in this is 60. So for details, you can refer to the description section where I provided a dedicated link to redirect and purchase this course. So do check it out. First news, that is Haryana Cabinet note for anti-conversion bill. This particular news is important for General Studies Paper 2, Government Policies and Intervention for the Development of Various Sector and Issues Arising from it. So what Haryana Cabinet has recently decided, the government of Haryana has recently approved a draft that is called a Haryana Prevention of Unlawful Conversion of Religious Bill 2022, right? This is something not new. It was actually started in 2020. I will give you that historical background also in the later part of this video. But for time being, the draft bill will be tabled before the assembly and most probably this is going to be passed by the parliament. Now, provisions की अगर बात करें, what is the provision of this bill? So the bill seeks to prohibit religious conversion, जहाँ पे misinterpretation, force, undue influence या फिर एलोनमेंट्स के थ्रू किसी फ्रॉडलेंट मीन से किसी के साथ अगर मैरिज की जाती है, so that marriage would be counted as an offense, right? And the bill on the lines of recent anti-conversion laws passed by the state oppose and propose to make the conversion of marriage as an offense. So this is what the government has come up, the state government of Haryana has come up, that this particular marriage which is under influence, under force, under misinterpretation would be counted as an offense. Now it also prescribes higher punishment for the conversion of minors, women and the member of scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. So इस specific categories of लोगों के लिए अलग provision बनाई गई है where they would be also provided with extra protection. Now, according to the draft bill, the burden of proof lies with the accused. So, whomsoever would be accused, he has to prove that he is not guilty of that particular offense in which the police has charge sheeted him, right? So, this is how the important provision of this draft bill is. And if you're appearing for any other state competitive examination, also be it is Haryana Public Service Commission और उत्तरांचल पब्लिक सर्विस कमीशन, इस तरह के कन्वर्जन्स जो लॉज हैं हर एक स्टेट्स के लिए काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाते हैं. सो मेक श्योर यू नो सम इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोविजंस. Now, as per the draft bill, the statement of objective and the reason of right to freedom and religious is guaranteed under Article 255, 26, 27 and 28 of the Indian Constitution. Now, add that the objective of right is to sustain the principle of secularism in our country. और अगर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशंस की बात करें, इट सेज दैट स्टेट हैज नो रिलीजियस, ऑल रिलीजियस आर इक्वल, नो रिलीजियस शैल बी गिवन प्रेफरेंस ओवर अदर रिलीजन्स, एडिंग द सिटीजन. यहाँ पे फ्री टू प्रीच है, प्रैक्टिस एंड प्रोपिगेट फॉर एनी रिलीजियस ऑफ देयर चॉइस. बट अगेन लेट्स सी, because Supreme Court has not come up with any intervention in the state coming with the anti-conversion law. So if it is being challenged in the Supreme Court, they might give their opinion and directives. Now, if you see in the background how this has happened, so it actually started in 2020, where the Chief Minister of Haryana, Manohar Lal Khattar, he has directed the state government to form a law against the love jihad. And by the November end, government has set up a 3-member committee to draft the anti-conversion law. And the bill has to be tabled in the parliament. Basically, जो वहाँ की state legislature है, वहाँ पे ये आएगी. This is on the 2nd of March. It is expected. And for time being, the draft is already released. So let's see. Possibly this is going to be passed, and how is the next course of action going? Sri Lanka to launch its own Aadhaar. This particular news is important for General Studies Paper 2, India and its neighborhood relations. So although in order to boost the relationship with Sri Lanka, जो bilateral relationship है इंडिया और श्रीलंका के बीच में, उसको और strengthen करने के लिए इंडिया ने decide किया है that it would agree to implement the part of unitarily digital identity framework that is modeled in the Aadhaar card in India. इंडिया में ऑलरेडी इस तरह की डिजिटल आइडेंटिफिकेशंस या फिर आप कह सकते हैं जो पूरे सिटीजन के स्टोरेज की गई है डाटा वो आधार में ही है. तो इसी तर्ज पे इंडिया कोशिश कर रही है कि जो श्रीलंका है उसको भी हेल्प की जाए, एंड दे वुड बी बिल्डिंग द यूनिटरी डिजिटल आइडेंटिफिकेशन फ्रेमवर्क. So Sri Lanka government would prioritize the implementation of the framework at the national level program. तो अब श्रीलंका गवर्नमेंट जो इंडिया में ऑलरेडी आधार कार्ड इनरोल्ड है सिटीजन, उस तरह की सेम पैरेलली एक डिजिटल डेटाबेस बनाने जा रही है. Now the initiative follows the bilateral talk between India and Sri Lanka when it was started way back in 2019, right? तो उसी के follow up because of the COVID-19 some of things was not taking place. Now the government has come up, ठीक है, अब इसको start करते हैं. यूनिटरी डिजिटल आइडेंटिफिकेशन फ्रेम की वर्क करें, किस तरह से ये होगी, कैसे ये आगे प्रपोज्ड होगी. So it is expected to introduce a personal identity verification device based on the biometric data. So all Aadhaar data are biometric, whether it is a fingerprint, to the iris, or other sort of stuff. It has to be on a biometric data. So the same has to go in Sri Lanka, and a digital tool can represent the identification of an individual in the किस तरह से वो खास करके एक्यूरेटली वेरीफाइड हो उनके फिजिकल एनवायरनमेंट्स को देखते हुए, कंबाइनिंग द अदर डिवाइसेस एज वेल. Now it also combined the substantial economic assistance, जहाँ पे इंडिया ने पहले भी असिस्टेंस दी हुई है श्रीलंका को. 1.4 बिलियन की असिस्टेंस कंटिन्यू है फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर मंथ, दिस पर्टिकुलर ईयर व्हेन दिस नेशन वाज विटनेसिंग एंड डॉलर क्रंच. चाहे वो इंपोर्ट की बात हो, फूड, मेडिसिन या फिर फ्यूल हो, ये सारे की क्राइसिस चल रही है. श्रीलंका इज इन ह्यूज डेट फ्रॉम चाइना एंड दे आर unable to repay the payment. So let's see how thing is going to work for Sri Lanka, because India ने अपनी जितनी benefit हो सकती है वो उनको दी है. Earlier effort by Sri Lankan government, this is not for the first time that Sri Lanka is doing this. They have actually tried to consolidate the biometric data of their citizen. So they started just few years ago. जो previous government थी श्रीलंका में, उन्होंने इलेक्ट्रॉनिक नेशनल आइडेंटिटी कार्ड या फिर ENIC के नाम से जाना जाता था, उसको स्टार्ट किया था, but it has not able to fully centralize the database, and even the process was not being completed. Now the other news, that is wild-checked macaque found in Arunachal Pradesh. This particular news is important for General Studies Paper 3, Conservation, Environmental Pollution, Degradation and EIA, that is Environmental Impact Assessment. So in this news, we'll see how the scientists from the Geological Survey of India, that is ZSI, they have recently discovered a mammal which is called white-kicked macaque. So what is this white-kicked macaque? They have been recorded in their presence in the central Arunachal Pradesh in India, right? And the significance of the discovery make it a new addition to the mammal of India. और अगर बात करें इस पर्टिकुलर मकाक की, white-kicked macaque की, ये एनिमल जिनी एक जर्नल है जो पब्लिश की जाती है इंटरनेशनली, उसमें भी इसके बारे में रिपोर्ट की गई है. एंड दिस इज इनके जो आप नाम करेंगे जिस तरह से जो जूलॉजिकल फाइलम्स में या फिर इनके जो जेनरिक नेम्स है, दैट इज कॉल्ड मकाका ल्यूजिनस. Now something more about white-kicked macaque. This macaque has distinctive features. It has white kicks, longs, and thick hair on the neck and long hair than other macaque species. And this is the last mammal to have been discovered in South Asia. You can see the images here. This actually look like golden, but most of the color, the skin hair type is white. The macaque was first discovered in China in 2015, and its existence was not known in India before this. And the number of mammal that has been reported in India is around 434. So it's a good number, and definitely government would add this in other बेसिकली जो वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट है उनमें भी इसे ऐड की जाएगी. So the discovery of this has laid the foundation not only to be included but also जितने भी वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट्स में एनिमल रिजर्व्ड हैं प्रोटेक्टेड हैं उस लिस्ट में इस मकाक को भी रखी जाएगी. द पोटेंशियल थ्रेट ऑफ ऑल स्पीसीज ऑफ द मकाक्स इन द लैंडस्केप इज ड्यू टू हंटिंग ऑफ द लोकल कंजप्शंस and habitat degradations due to urbanization, infrastructure, and development. Now, the other news, that is France sees path to ease Russia crisis. This particular news is important for General Studies paper 2. Effect of policies and politics for developed and developing countries. So recently जो फ्रांस के प्रेसिडेंट है उन्होंने एक मीटिंग की है रशियन के प्रेसिडेंट के साथ and even to the Ukraine also, and he said that the path of easing the tension has continued from basically जो रशिया के साथ यूएस के बीच जो टेंशन एक्सकेलेट हो रही है उस क्रम में जो फ्रांस के प्रेसिडेंट है he has intervened and he said that the Russian government has promised him that nothing is going to be escalated from their end. So the statement was made by conducting an urgent round of subtle diplomacy between Russia and Ukraine. So the French president has told the reporters that the Russian president has assured him, Vladimir Putin has assured him that the Russian force would not be rampant crisis near the Ukraine border. But again, the issue of debate is that despite the fact if Russia is not going to invade Ukraine, then why they are deploying such large forces, right? The US is also claiming that there can be an invasion by Russia, but Russia ने अभी इस तरह की formal कोई भी announcement नहीं की. Now, what the French government has proposed, the French government has proposal including the engagement from both sides, and they said that there should not be any military actions and the launch of strategic dialogue and efforts to revive the peace process from the Ukraine conflict. And it also said that an agreement would ensure the withdrawal of 30,000 Russian soldiers from Belarus at the end of the joint military exercise. Russia ने already पहले से भी कहा हुआ है कि एक joint military exercise है and not a part of invasions of Ukraine. But let's see how the coming week is going to be evolving. Now, step up agriculture spending, boost farm income. This particular article is important for General Studies paper 2. Government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it. So this particular article or editorial has been written by Purnima Verma. She is a professor at IIM Ahmedabad. So what she wanted to discuss under this editorial, that I'll be discussing in 4 important subheads. The first is Agriculture Orientation Index, comparison with Asia, other significant reductions and measures to be implemented, right? So under this editorial, the main theme is sustainable development goal for agri growth. What is the roadmap? How government has come up to ensure that this particular sector is getting a boost. So first thing first, अगर budgetary allocations की बात करें towards agriculture, it has marginally increased, right? 4.4% देखी गई है यूनियन बजट में इस बार, and the rate is pretty lower compared to the last year, that was 5.5 to 6%. तो इस बार जो overall increase होनी चाहिए थी budget allocations में वो कम है. Now if you see the Food and Agriculture Organization जो United Nations की एक organization है, from 2001 to 2019 उन्होंने कहा है that India is among the top 10 countries in terms of government spending. तो top 10 countries है government के spending के मामले में, जहाँ पे जो share है that is around 7.3%. But if you compare many other countries, especially in Asia only, तो यहाँ पे जो low income countries है like Malawi, Mali, Bhutan, Nepal and even Guyana, ये contribute करते हैं India से ज़्यादा. Even China has contribution of 9.6%. So these are some of the things that government of India has to take into consideration because we are an economy which is mostly dependent on agriculture also, right? तो ऐसे कंट्रीज जहाँ भूटान और नेपाल हमारे से ज़्यादा परसेंटेज ऑफ जीडीपी के खर्च कर रहे हैं तो डेफिनेटली इंडिया को और ज़्यादा करने की ज़रूरत है. नाउ इफ यू टॉक अबाउट एग्रीकल्चर ओरिएंटेशन इंडेक्स, ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट इंडेक्स है दैट वाज एक्चुअली डेवलप्ड एज अ पार्ट ऑफ गोल 2 इन द जीरो हंगर इंडेक्स या फिर सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल 2015 में जो अडॉप्ट की गई है उसके अंदर ये है. दिस emphasizes in increasing the investment in rural infrastructure, चाहे agriculture research हो, extension services हो, development of technology, enhancing the agriculture productivity या फिर पूरी तरह से poverty को middle और lower income countries में ख़त्म करने में agriculture या फिर agriculture orientation index उनको rate करती है that what is the actual performance. Now AOI, that is Agriculture Orientation Index, is calculated by dividing agriculture's share of the government and expenditure, that is in terms of agriculture valued added share in the GDP. ना दूसरे शब्दों में अगर से समझें तो ये मेजर्स है बिटवीन द गवर्नमेंट स्पेंडिंग टुवर्ड्स एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर्स एंड द सेक्टर कंट्रीब्यूशन टू द जीडीपी, कितनी खर्च हो रही है और एक्चुअल कितनी आउटपुट है उसकी. Now, the index is one of the lowest, reflecting the spending towards agriculture sectors, जो commensurate करती है sector के contribution towards the gross domestic product. Now, comparison अगर करें एशिया में किस तरह की परफॉर्मेंस है AOI की, दैट इज एग्रीकल्चर ओरिएंटेड इंडेक्स, तो ये इंप्रूव हुई है सिंस 2000. यहाँ पे जनरल रिवाइवल देखी गई है अमंग द मिडिल इनकम कंट्रीज, बट अभी भी इंडिया की जो AIO है, इट्स वन ऑफ द लोवेस्ट इन एशिया, राइट, वन ऑफ द लोवेस्ट इन एशिया and among several middle and income countries. As I've told you, as compared to Nepal and other Bhutan countries, the performance of India is not that great. Now, Asia as a whole performance has a better, relatively higher performance in Eastern Asian countries. Now, China की बात करें, China has been doing remarkably well in terms of this particular index. Now, similarly, Republic of Korea की बात करें and other countries, they have been like 2005 to 2006. This country has been progressing, and lower income African countries like Zambia and other has been commendable effort in terms of their efforts in terms of productivity, GDP की contributions, because एक ऐसी country है, landlocked country है, despite the fact these are performing well. और इंडिया की जो रैंकिंग है वो 38 है इन वर्ल्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ द एग्रेरियन इकोनॉमी, राइट, जो कि एक ऐसी इकोनॉमी है जहाँ पे लोग लाइवलीहुड के लिए या फिर जो क्रॉप्ड कंज्यूम्ड है पूरे वर्ल्ड में, वो सबसे ज़्यादा इंडिया में है. दैट इज अ कंट्री वेयर वी आर मोस्टली डिपेंडेंट ऑन एग्रीकल्चर. नाउ इंडिया, both India and China, the world largest producer of wheat, rice, cotton and maize. ना कुछ सिग्निफिकेंट रिडक्शंस की बात की गई है इस एडिटोरियल में कि किस तरह से गवर्नमेंट ने जो बजट में एलोकेशंस की हैं उसमें रिडक्शंस की गई है. कुछ स्पेसिफिक स्कीम है, प्रधानमंत्री अन्नदाता आय संरक्षण अभियान. So they have experienced reductions in this particular year. Further, the distribution of the pulses to the state welfare scheme has also been reduced to 9 crore, जो कि पहले 50 crore हुआ करती थी. Again, so this is a degradations, or you can see the shortfall that is witnessed. Additionally, an overall reduction of 7,018 crore rupees has been seen in the center schemes that the central government is providing help to the state governments. Now, allocations of rural development की अगर बात करें, this was only 5.59% compared to the previous budget that has been reduced to 5.23. और कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट स्कीम्स हैं जिनको ऑलरेडी गवर्नमेंट ने मर्ज किया है, लाइक प्रधानमंत्री किसान सम्मान निधि, प्रधानमंत्री किसान मानधन योजना. These have not actually generated a desirable result, which allocation was previously there, but उसके context में जो result आनी चाहिए थी, जो output आनी चाहिए थी, that has not substantially contributed in the development of economy or the progress of this particular schemes. Now, measures that is essentially required, or you can say the way forward. तो सबसे पहली ज़रूरत है spending in agriculture has to be increased, जो एक sustainable development को आगे बढ़ाए. The focus should be there in irrigation facility, urban infrastructure को growth करना, खास करके national highway की अगर बात करें, ये एक रूरल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का काम है जिसे डेवलप करने की काफ़ी ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है, ताकि जो हमारी कंट्रीज़ के जो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन फैसिलिटीज़ हैं, जो फार्मर्स अपने फार्म्स प्रोड्यूस को APMC या फिर मंडीज तक पहुंचाते हैं, उनके लिए देयर हैज़ टू एसेंशियली टू बी हैव अ गुड ट्रांसपोर्टेशन फैसिलिटीज़. एंड देयर शुड बी नंबर ऑफ मार्केट एज सजेस्टेड बाय द नेशनल कमीशन ऑफ फार्मर्स. इन्होंने ऑलरेडी रिकमेंड्स की हैं कि ऐसे मार्केट्स होने चाहिए जहाँ पे मिडिल मैन कम हो और फार्मर ईजिली अपने प्रोड्यूस को सेल कर पाए. So this measure will play a crucial role in enhancing the farmer's access to market, integrating small marginal farmer into agriculture supply chain to a larger extent, right? So this is how only we can ensure जो farmer की income है वो double हो सके, and this will also help the farmers to get the produce right price at right time. Now moving to the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed with the question, just to tell you the answers of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option is C. For second question also, the correct option is C. Today's MCQ for practice, new umbrella entities for retail payment. What is this? Only those payment entities are owned and controlled by the Indian citizen at least have 3-year experience in the payment sector can become the promoters of NUE. No foreign investors are allowed in NUEs in the existing guideline. So you have to check. ये recent की news है, RBI ने इसे किया है. कौन कौन से इसके important points आप जानते हैं? Do check it out because this is something which is important for the upcoming prelims examination. Second, electoral bond के बारे में है. All nationalized in India bank are authorized to issue and in cash the bank and valid for 15 days from the date of issuance. The bond are redeemable in the designated account of the registered political parties. We are witnessing election in many states, तो इस context में electoral bond के questions काफी important हो जाते हैं. So do check which among the following is the correct options. So this was all about the daily news and editorial analysis followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.